गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। We are in Jnaneshwari Bhavartha Deepika Bhagavad Gita commentary by Jnaneshwar Maharaj, and we are on verse number 26, chapter 17, OV number 380. And in the 25th verse and 24th verse, the was talking about Om, uttering the syllable Om and doing the acts, doing the action. 25th verse was talking about Sat, because we are looking at Om Tat Sat, Bhagavan said. And in 25th verse, by uttering the Tat and without seeking any results there are of any act of sacrifice and austerity and charity that has been performed, then what is the implication? By understanding or chanting of Tat here means that whatever the result is by the Lord. Nobody knows what result is going to come. Do you know that you are going to get realized before the class? Huh? You have any doubt? You may have doubt, or you may have full confidence. But but everything in our life is happening by His grace. Senses are functioning, breath is going on, thinking is going on, understanding is going on. It is not that we are doing that. Understanding is not an action. See, you are hearing abstract words, one after the other. The flurry of words is coming to you, and you are bringing out a meaning out of it. Is it the correct meaning? Is it the opposite meaning? Is it complete meaning? Is it incomplete meaning? Or you don't understand anything at all, neither the word nor the meaning. So wherever we are in our life and whatever is coming to us, rather than take ownership of it, see the hand of divine in that. All the results are accrued by His grace, and our attention is not on the results. Our attention is where? Where is our attention? Om Tat Sat. Our attention is on Om Tat Sat. And how is our attention? With faith, with Shraddha. And now in the 24th we talked about Om, in 25th we talked about Tat, and now we come to Sat. Sadbhave sadhu bhave cha, sadbhave sadhu bhave cha, sadityetat prayujyate, sadityetat prayujyate, prashaste karmani tatha, प्रशस्ते कर्मणि तथा सत्शब्द पार्थ युज्यते, सत्शब्द पार्थ युज्यते, सद्भावे साधुभावे च सदित्येतत् प्रयुज्यते प्रशस्ते कर्मणि तथा सत्शब्द पार्थ युज्यते. In the 26th verse, Bhagwan Shri Krishna says the word Sat is used to decide that which is and that which is good. So what is Sat? Sat means you understand Sat as truth, but another meaning of Sat is existence. That which is always, that which has never gone out of existence. And remember the context in which we are talking about all this. Sadhu Purush, he understands, he has realized that which has never gone out of existence is the self that I am. But here the topic of Om Tat Sat began for those ignorant people who are unable to understand the Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, all that was told in the beginning. The Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, Yajna, Dan, Tapas, he said, this is too much information. I can't process it. Because we are saying dull-minded, and some people do not have the acumen to even catch such simple connotations, because they are so world oriented, so action oriented. They are just unable to drop the world, drop the activity. We are not saying drop the activity, but drop the world, the extrovertedness. So what, is there no way for such people to realize, to purify? Well, for realization, purification is required, shift of attention is required, change of attitude is required, a change in disposition is required. And to such people who are unable to give up the doership, who are unable to give up the world, who are unable to give up the extrovertism, who are unable to give up the karta and bhokta, to such people Om Tat Sat was indicated. On the contrary, the sadhu, he understands Om is his nature, he understands Tattvamasi, Tat is that infinite, and the Jivatma and the Paramatma are one. He understands that. And he understands the Sat also, that Sat is representing the continuous existence that I am. But this, a common man who is lost in karta bhokta, who is lost in doership and enjoyership, he is unable to catch it. So Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, Tari sat shabde yene atuni asatache nane davize avyangavane satteche rupa. He says, by the use of this syllable Sat, the counterfeit coin in the form of the illusory world gets destroyed and one experiences the flawless nature of existence. Counterfeit looks the same, but it is not the real. Counterfeit. So, what is our disposition? Our disposition is, this world is real, but actually it is not real. Counterfeit looks real, but it is not real. Same is our disposition. We interact with the world as if the world is real, but actually world is not real. And when we say world is not real, what do you mean world is not real? The existence aspect of the world is real. The name and form aspect of the world is unreal, is illusory. Catch this part. Anyway, this is a dull fellow, he will not understand. He So we do not say world does not exist. We say world exists. But how does the world exist? As an illusion, not as the pure existence, not as the reality, because we haven't developed that vision yet, because we are lost in names and forms. Remember, asti bhati priya nama roop. The world is, asti is, bhati it is known, priya it is dear, but not in its essential nature, not in its real nature. Then what are you in love with? Nama roop. You are in love with the name and form of the world. You are not in love with the asti bhati, the essential nature of the world you are not in love with. Now you apply to your body, you apply to your thoughts, you apply to your convictions, you apply to your children, you apply to your husband and wife, you apply to your parents, you apply to your house, apply to your car, apply to your memories. Everything is name and form. And in that we are lost. And therefore, Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, by use of this syllable Sat, the counterfeit coin in the form of the illusory world gets destroyed and one experiences the flawless nature of existence. Now, if Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying that, and why is he saying that? Because he is giving a commentary on the Bhagavad Gita verse. What Bhagwan Shri Krishna has said. Now, our approach should be what? Our approach is, no, it is impossible. How this name and form is illusory? I think something is wrong with this young boy called Jnaneshwar Maharaj. Immediate judgment. Instead, what should be our approach? Oh, he gave Bhagavad Gita 30 years ago. I think it was that time, but today, in today's time, how can name form be not real? Is this not real? See, it is, I can feel it. Continue, enjoy, and be miserable. Tadhastu. So our approach should be, if Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying this, if Bhagwan is saying this, then where am I lacking in my approach? That this disposition is eluding me. Where am I lacking? This should be our approach. And what can I do? Where am I falling short? In my contemplation, in my understanding, in my approach, in my disposition, that I am not able to see this world of name and form as illusory. It requires a little bit of grey matter. And you work towards it. How you work towards it? With faith. When you work towards anything with faith, it becomes possible. With faith only we have accepted our parents as our parents. With faith only we got married. With faith only we have children. And we continue to serve them and take care of them. It's all based, we have already seen in this chapter from the beginning, everything is on faith only. Continuing Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, जे सत्तेची काळे देशे होऊ नेणेची अनारिसे आपण आपण असे अखंडित हे दिसते जे तुले आहे ते असतपणे जे नोहे देखता रूपी सोये लाभे जयाची तेणेसी प्रशस्त ते कर्म जे झाले सर्वात्मक ब्रह्म देखी जे करुणी सम ऐक्य ऐक्य बोधे तरी ओंकार तत्कारे जे कर्म दाविले ब्रह्माकारे ते गिळूनी होई जे एक सरे सन्मात्रची ऐसा हा अंतरंगू सत्शब्दाचा विनियोगू जाणा म्हणे श्रीरंगू मी ना म्हणे हो. Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, I am not saying this. It is not my imagination which I am presenting you. I will not commit that sin. It is not my, I am not saying it. Bhagavan is saying it. What does he say? This Sat undergoes no change at any place or time. Because there is change happening in the world, as you are experiencing the world right now, as you are experiencing it right now, is the space changing? Space is the same. Everything that is contained in the space is undergoing change. Starting from the air element, it changes, it moves around. Fire moves around, water moves around, evaporates, precipitates, crystallizes. Earth moves around. But space, does it move around? Space doesn't move around. And who knows the space? Who is aware that there is space? I. So recognize that this I has never changed. When it was a baby, the life was there. When you are a brahmachari, life was there. When you are a teenager, life was there. Youth, life was there. Grahastha, life was there. In last 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, depending, I am covering all the spectrum that is listening. So, you are still there every day, every minute, every moment, even though so many days have passed, years have passed. But have we ever felt that we are absent? Have we felt we are absent? Never. Then what is, when we say what is absent? Oh, childhood is absent right now, or teenage is absent right now, yesterday is absent right now. The thoughts which we heard in the beginning of the lecture, they are absent right now. And as we are listening to everything, so it's always something which is absent, but we are never absent. Find out what is this constant principle which is never coming and going. But we have superimposed the coming and going on this I, and we think we are coming and going. It's the biggest disservice we can do to ourselves. The Sat undergoes no change at any place or time. The Sat, the existence that I am, it is independent of Desh Kala Vastu. Here it is told only Desha Kal, time and space. Desha Kala Vastu, it is independent, it is free, it is Swatantra. In its presence, Desh Kala Vastu get activated. Now start taking this position and see how Desha Kala Vastu get activated in your presence. In your presence, the waking world begins and the waking world ends. In your presence, the dream world begins and the dream world ends. Is it true or not? The moment you wake up, the waking world begins. If you are not there, will there be a waking world? Oh, it will be for other people. Then go to dog. We are talking about you, we are not talking about the world. It's a subjective journey. Who is interfering with my computer? It's a subjective journey. No, if I'm not there, the world is still there. If someone dies, the world is still there. If I am absent, this world is still there. For whom? We are talking about you. Have you been ever absent? No. You know that you have been the constant existent principle in whose presence the waking, dream, sleep have come and gone, come and gone, come and gone, isn't it? You want to take a very simple example at a very gross level? I told you about the space and everything, but now see, the vision is constant. The colors and forms are changing. Because colors and form are changing, are the eyes changing? Is the vision changing? No. See? Now go further. Because the senses are continuously changing, is the mind changing? No. Because the thoughts are changing, is the mind changing? No. Mind is the same. Mind is ever the same. Thoughts change. But stupidly we say, my mind is sad, my mind is inspired, my mind. No, it's the thoughts. You get an inspiring thought, or you get a depressing thought, or you get a jealous thought, or you get an angry thought, or you get a whatever, spiritual thought. Mind is ever the same. Mind is the container in which the content called the thoughts are coming and going. And what is mind essentially? Consciousness. If you come to recognize that mind is the constant principle, unaffected by the coming and going of the thoughts, you are there. Nothing more needs to be done after that. You are there. This Sat undergoes no change at any time, at any place or time. It always abides in the form of the Supreme Self. This existence always abides in the form of Supreme Self, and that Supreme Self is my essential nature. Don't forget to complete the statement. When masters give the commentary, they say that thinking that you understand, but we keep it objective information. No, make it subjective. And that Supreme Self is my essential nature, is my natural state, is me. And here when they are talking about, they are not talking about some imaginary, they are talking about you. That you have never changed. You are of the nature of existence. You are the constant principle. And everything else is changing. Now find out where the problem is. The problem is you have got identified with the changing and you consider yourself to be changing. And therefore fear, therefore security, therefore desire. Don't identify with the changing. It always abides in the form of the Supreme Self. as the visible world is illusory, it is not classed under Sat, which is known only as the Supreme Self. So, because the world, which aspect of the world is illusory? The name and form. And therefore, we do not say that the names and forms are reality. But can the world be outside reality? Can the world be outside reality? Not possible. But you are obsessed, you are mesmerized by the forms and the names. See, we haven't developed the vision to see the constant principle behind all change. The constant principle behind ornaments is the gold. The goldsmith has that vision. The buyer of ornament doesn't have that vision. He talks about 18 karat, 20 karat, 22 karat, 26 karat gold. But his attention is on the form. In the end, even if he is talking about 26 karat purest gold, but still he pays for the ornament only. He doesn't pay for the gold. See? Where is our attention? So the world which is vivarta, what is illusion or what is illusory? That is this name and form. What do you understand by illusion? What do you understand by the word mithya? Vivarta, that which is existing in its own absence. That which seems to be there, but you cannot catch it. It's like going to a river and trying to catch the river. You put your hand in the river to catch the river, already changed. It's moved. Even faster than that river is this life, is this world. And yet, a human being is living, going to sleep every day and waking up thinking it is the same world. How stupid can he be? It is not the same world. It is not classed under Sat, which is known only as the Supreme Self. The world is not classed under Sat. Then who knows the Sat, the constant aspect of the world? Only the Supreme Self knows it. Only the Atma knows it. Jivatma can never come to know. Because Jivatma is identified or enslaved or conditioned by Desh Kala Vastu. And for us, the whole world is Desh Kala Vastu, time, space, and objectivity. Sorry, space, time, and objectivity. Don't give it too much importance. What will Shani Maharaj do? And now I got a Rahu Dasha, and I got a Shukra Dasha, and now I got a Brihaspati Dasha, and every Saturday I must go and pour the oil, and if I don't do it, I'll get a punishment from Shani Maharaj. He will be after me for 7.5 years. Lage raho Munna bhai. How long are we going to live in fear? As long as you consider yourself to be the body, then you do all these things. But do you want your entire life to be lived in fear? Nobody wants it. Everyone wants to be fearless. Everyone wants to be in control, and the only place they can exercise control is over their cat or dog, not even on their husband and wife. They can't practice it. Over their children they cannot practice control. Forget control, understanding also is not there. That poor thing can't answer back. His meal is dependent on you, so he has to listen. Who? The cat and dog. What can that do? But you feel how much that dog loves me. You never asked how much God loves me, but dog loves me. Complete opposite. God, Dog. Exactly the same way. We are failing to recognize the constant principle. We are lost in the illusory aspect, which is the name and form. Get it deep into your heart and mind that name and form is equal to world, and it is an illusion. Nothing you can do to hold on to it. It is impossible to hold on to it. And existence aspect, you cannot relinquish it. You are already that. Not only you are that, the world also is that. So it's not your existence and the world existence is separate. It's the same common denominator. Just like water is the common denominator of every wave, every ocean. So this existence is the common denominator of every Jivatma, every God, and everything in this world. Meaning, this Sat Vastu, this pure existence, which is ever unchanging, is the common denominator, the constant unchanging principle on which Jeev, Jagat, Ishwar, individuality, totality, God, and the world, they come and play the game of cricket. God is the umpire, you are the batsman, and world is throwing the balls. Sometimes it goes a sixer, sometimes you are clean bowled, and the game is going on. And nothing can be done about the world because you did not create it. It was there. Nothing can be done about the God because he is too powerful. Then what can be done? You work on yourself. If one aspect out of this Jeev, Jagat, Ishwar is taken out, cricket match over, cannot be played. So if the batsman is not there, what will the umpire do? And who will the bowler keep bowling at the wickets? Then what is it? It's a washout. So you stop being the batsman. What is going to come? Now Corona has come. What is, they are saying there is another strain which is more even. Oh, another ball is coming. It's a googly. The next one, a bouncer. Stop batting. How? By recognizing you are the constant principle. The moment you come out of this game, and this illusory game, the game will stop for you. Where the game stops, that is realization. Because you have come to the constant principle, you have recognized that you are. So the only place where you can work is not on the world, you cannot work on the God, you can work on yourself. So when we are working on ourselves, what are we working on? This existence, which is the true nature of the world, which is unavailable to me right now, is possible, is available only to the Supreme Self. And that Supreme Self I am. Have I come to that point yet? Or am I lost in names and forms in the illusory world? That which becomes one with all pervasive Brahman, and by the use of the word Sat results in experience of unity by eliminating the duality of the doer is the right action. See? So what is the right action? You stop being the batsman is the right action. Stop being the doer. Stop being the doer. That which becomes one with all pervasive Brahman. What becomes one with all pervasive Brahman? This Sat, Vastu that I am, this existence, this Supreme Self. I am the constant principle. I have never gone out of existence. Is one with Brahman. What is Brahman? The existence behind the whole world is Brahman. So that existence behind the whole world and the existence that I am, they are one and the same. There are not two existences. Therefore it is said Tat Tvam Asi, that you and that are one. You the existence and that the existence. It's not said you the individual and that the name and form are one. It is not said that. Results in the experience of unity, and the moment unity can be experienced only where duality dissolves. And what is the duality for us? Me and the world, me and the body, aham and idam, isn't it? Me versus you. This is duality. Inside, outside, up and down, back and front, likes and dislikes, success and failure, light and dark. Where we use words, there automatically the duality begins. See? So, experience of unity by eliminating the duality of the doer. So this doer, for him, all these opposites were available. Now, opposites are the phenomena. If you try to remove the opposites, probably you all did that in the past life, that's why you are here still. Including we were trying to remove the duality. We can't remove the duality because duality is the phenomena. Then what can we do if we can't remove the duality? You realize yourself that you are the constant one. The moment you realize the constant one, duality vanishes. The moment you sleep, the multiplicity or the duality or the identification with the body vanishes by itself. So the best yoga is the sleeping yoga. Remain there. See? Think. So duality of the doer. For this doer, who is the doer? Who has not recognized that he is pure existence, that he is the common denominator, that he and the existence and the existence on which the world is expressing itself is one and the same. In very simple words, he is identified with action, therefore he is the doer. What does identification with action means? He thinks that he is thinking. He thinks that he is speaking. He thinks that he is doing. And if he doesn't do, if he doesn't speak, if he doesn't communicate, if he doesn't think, imagine, ideate, plan, how will life be lived? Things will not just happen if I don't do anything. I have to do something. This is the fallacy with which we are living. Doing is this doership or doing is for the ghost. It's not for the reality. Jivatma is the ghost. For example, yesterday also this example came. All the problems, challenge. Yesterday only someone called me. Today. One kid lost his job and the father was called and he took 3 days leave to help his son and went to him. He said, I will try and find you a job, son. But this son is a lazy bum. He has a job. He is supposed to log in at 9 o'clock in the morning, log out at 5 o'clock in the morning, 22-year-old. But get drunk at night, can't get up in the morning on time, forget to log in at 9 o'clock. Now who can help such a person? Now the father is worried. Father is concerned. And he organized a job for this kid, prepared his resume, and the general manager of that company is friend to him. They went, and when he read the resume, the son was rejected. Some mistake there. And this father says that for 10 hours it was as if I have failed for my son. I felt such a pang of guilt and pain in my heart that for 10 hours I was like a zombie. Now tell me, for whom is this pain? For the father. Is the pain for the man? No. And where is the father? A ghost. He doesn't exist. It's only an idea in your mind. And 22-year-old monkey, let him live his life. Let him make his mistakes. But no, attachment. My child, I gave birth to this child. And then attachment, and then resultant pain, suffering, misery. For whom? For the ghost. Same way, this doership, this enjoyership, this karta, bhokta is for the ghost called Jivatma. It has got nothing to do with the Supreme Self, the Atma Tattva. कैच दिस, चिंतन करो इसके बारे में थोड़ा. Everything will just drop away. Then you will play, you will do what is required, what is required to be done, it will happen through you. You keep contemplating on the Supreme. The moment we take ownership of the activity, that's where the whole rigmarole begins. It's like the whole river is moving towards the ocean. It is a statement of fact, isn't it? That any river in the world is moving towards the ocean to merge into the infinite. So allow your life to merge into the infinite. It will happen right now here. But what do? We create a whirlpool. Whirlpool has its own vibration, own centripetal force. Keeps, just like if a leaf is flowing in the river and it gets caught up in a whirlpool, it will go there and there and go deep into that. And then by God's grace, it may pop up afterwards, again come to the surface of the river. So you're caught up in the whirlpool called body identification. Then you got caught up in another whirlpool that is called being husband or wife. Then you got another whirlpool, father, mother, daughter, sister, husband, etc., etc. And we don't stop there. We keep creating whirlpools for ourselves because we are creative. Creative. And we call it creativity. Buddhu. This is not creativity. Falling into each, and then we say wise words, going down and coming up is the spice of life. Everything that goes up will come down, and everything that goes down will come up. That is the fact of life. That is the fact of nature. Get out of nature. Be the constant one. Then you don't have to be at the mercy of this ups and downs and in and out and all opposites. How much more disservice we are doing to ourselves. Quickly. It's instantaneous. As instantaneous as a husband looking at wife expresses as husband, wife goes away, daughter comes, immediately the father expresses. Same way, if you keep looking at the world or keep looking at the body and identify with the body, man identifying with the wife, woman is the husband. Consciousness identifying with the body, Jivatma. So you contemplate on the self in that, and you do that every night. You contemplate on the sleep, you don't know what it is, and you become free of all body identification. Why don't you recreate that moment of sleep consciously and be the continuous, unadulterated, homogeneous existence which is never absent? For that, we have to stop becoming a doer, stop taking ownership, and don't give excuses. But this, but that, then get out. Then do bhajan, kirtan. We are in 17th chapter, understand. Bhajan kirtan happened in 12th chapter. We have moved on. You are still stuck there. No, but do we not, Bhagwan is everything, but do good and see good, see no evil, hear no evil, talk no evil. No. Get out. Are you going to remain in the primary school all your life? Keep moving ahead until a point comes where there is nothing to move ahead to. Full stop. And that I am. That is the pure existence, the constant. See. So, experience of unity by eliminating the duality of the doer is the right action. So, when we are doing, so what is, again, if we talk about duty, isn't it dharma? I have to do my dharma. I have to do my dharma. Isn't my dharma to take care of my children? Is it not my dharma to do the duty of the wife, or dharma of being the husband, or dharma of being the child of my and take care of my parents, and dharma towards the society? And you want to do dharma. And what does Bhagavan say? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Sarva dharman parityaja. He is saying, give up all duties and come to my sharan. Come to me. And who is he? The constant principle, which has never gone out of existence, which is ever present. See? So as long as, now in this context of this verse, any action that we are, the right action is sat, where the doer is given up. Remember, at the beginning of the action, chant Om. When your action is being performed and not expect, and whatever result is coming, chant Tat. It is His grace, whatever is coming. See? And Sat is, when we talk about action, there has to be a doer of action. This doer is being purified by mentioning Sat. By chanting Om, the action was seen as the expression of that infinite. The maintenance of that action and the result of action was seen by chanting Tat. And by chanting Sat, a recognition is brought about that we are the constant, we are not the doer, action is happening by His grace, maintained by His grace, concluding by His grace. I have got nothing to do with it because I am not the doer. This is where we are stuck now most of the time. That action which becomes united with Brahman through the utterance of Om and Tat gets dissolved and remains as Sat. See, he is only saying it, Jnaneshwar Maharaj. Pure and simple. One should know this secret application of the term Sat, so said Sri Hari. When, here he says, that action becomes united with Brahman. Action united with Brahman, infinite reality. How? Through the utterance of Om and Tat. As we keep chanting Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, just like when we chant Om. So, U, and they both, and Mu, merge into M. Same way, Om and Tat merge into the Sat. Because Sat is the constant principle and Sat is pervading the Om as well as the Tat. And that I am. That I am. Excuse me. One should know this secret application of the term Sat, so said Sri Hari. Now I have told in detail. Let's see what Jnaneshwara says more after this. Where are we? Jnanadeva says, it is not I who says this. Here he says, Meena Maneho, Zana Mane Sri Rangu, Meena Maneho. Just like when we are doing Havan, we say, Indraya Swaha Idanna Mama. Here Bhagwan, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying, so said Sri Hari Bhagwan. I am not saying Idanna Mama. Because here there is an action going on, no? What is the action? Speech. Jnaneshwar Maharaj is giving a lecture. and therefore he is not taking any ownership of the words coming out of him. He is attributing it to the Lord. Continuing, नामीची जरी हो म्हणे तरी श्रीरंगी दुजे हेची उणे म्हणूनी हे बोलणे देवाचेची आता आणिकी ही परी सत्शब्दू हा अवधारी सात्विक कर्मा करी उपकारू जो तरी सत्कर्मे चांगे चालिली अधिकार बगे परी एकाधेका आंगे हिणावती जय तय उणे एके अवयवे शरीर ठाके आघवे का अंगहीन भांडावे रथाची गती तैसे एकैची गुणे वीण सतची परी असतपण कर्म धरी गा जाण जिये वेळे. He says, if I say so, it will be sullied with the taint of duality in respect of Sri Hari. So Jnaneshwar Maharaj is very clear. He says, these words are not mine. These are the words of Sri Hari. So does it mean a murderer kills and he says, I didn't do it, Sri Hari did it? If a murderer says that I did not commit the murder because I was not the doer. Now depends. If he is truly in tune with Sri Hari, then that act will not happen. Because divinity is where unconditional love is. See? It cannot be a pastime, killing this, killing that, killing that. क्यों? Time pass हो रहा है. Can't. So that does not become an excuse because, oh, Sri Hari said, I did not say anything. कुछ भी बोल दो. Say anything that you want and then say Sri Hari said it. Not that way. So I say that this is what the Lord has said. This syllable Sat is also beneficial to Sattvic action in another way. If these good actions are performed well, according to one's qualification, they may become defective in some way. Just as when a body has a defective limb, its activity comes to a stop, or if a chariot is deficient in one part, it comes to a dead halt. So, even if an action is right on the whole, it may become bad, being deficient in some quality. In this situation, with the help of the words Om Tat Sat, syllable restores the defective action. See how beautiful he has said. How beautifully he has said. What has he said? Very simply put, when we chant Om, the karma is purified. When we chant Tat, the intention behind the action is purified. And when we chant Sat, the doer is purified. As a result, we come to abide in the truth. That's the journey, no? You can't straight away come to the doer until and unless the karma is purified first. And where is karma going? Kaya, Vacha, Manasa. Then the intention behind. So when we say, I don't know if that is the, which verse is that? Okay. So if any action that is being performed, it has its own. We have checked out everything. There was uh, the Tarapur plant, the first nuclear power plant in India, Tarapur. There, when America stopped giving the nuclear fuel to produce electricity for the reactor to go on, if the reactor stops, then it requires a huge expenditure to start it all over again once it stops. So it has to somehow continue. And it stopped. Actually, it stopped. And now they were worried what to do, how will do we begin this whole process? And they tried everything. All the scientists, top scientists in India. And then scientists are also intelligent, like our Abdul Kalam, who was a great proponent of Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishad. So one of the scientists, the head of the Tarapur, he went to Meher Baba. In those days there was Meher Baba in 60s, 70s. And Meher Baba came and he said, "Don't ask me what I did." And he went to the core, the core of the nuclear power plant, and gave it tongue. And the whole thing started. Now as we say, the inquisitive kills the cat. Curiosity kills the cat, we say, no? So this scientist, what did he do that the nuclear reactor started functioning? And they started fiddling with it, it stopped again. See? Again they went and called him. Again he touched it. It started functioning again. Same way, we can take care of all the parameters in our life. Do a good, correct, appropriate actions, projects, attitude, everything is right while performing action. But still, by nature, action can go wrong. You can do everything to drive correctly. You are performing an action of driving your car perfectly. You are following the rules. You are in your lane. Your hand is on the steering wheel. You are wide awake. You are aware of everything. You have not lost any points. You have never paid any speeding ticket or red light ticket or what you call. Still, accidents can happen. One person here on Springwell Road, many years ago, 10, 12 years ago, on Springwell Road, while going to Highbury Road, they were standing at the bus stop. The glass cover, and they are in there, sitting nicely. Safe spot, bus will come, we will get into the bus. All action perfect, mother and daughter. Out of the blue, the car was going straight, suddenly it swerved, killed both of them. You are understanding what we are telling you. You can take care of all the parameters to perform the action perfectly. Meaning, even satvikally. Still something can go wrong. Still something can go wrong. So here, Jnaneshwar Maharaj is saying that, where are we? That even if these good actions are performed well according to one's qualifications, they may become defective in some way or the other. See, many times we are very careful, we use the correct words, we have no bad intentions, we have got no animosity, we are not being sarcastic, yet someone misunderstands us. Can you do anything about it? Can you do anything about it? वे मुंह फुला के बैठ जाते हैं. May become defective in some way, just as your example is given, just as a body, when a body has a defective limb, its activity comes to a stop. This reminds me, one guru and shishya. The guru for last 45 years, he's got his hand up. We saw him in, I used to see him in Haridwar many times. He came to the Kumbh Mela also. He's got his own tent and everything, and all he's doing, hand up like this. 45 years, hand up, tapasya, in the name of tapasya. Now what to do? Even if he wants that hand to come down, हो गया यार, बहुत हो गया. Half century मार ली. Now it's time I bring. No, the hand doesn't come down. It's stuck there. And for 35 years, his disciple, my guru has got his hand up, I will have my leg up. So he stands on one leg only. And for that, what did he do? He has got a jhula, swing, and he's always sitting on the swing like this with one leg up. What a joke of spirituality. Is this action? After some time, that leg will not become straight, this hand will not come down. Just like if you keep chanting Vedic chanting, you become adept at it. You stop chanting it, you will forget the ups and downs. See? Same way. That faculty which is not used regularly, it becomes, it's not able to express. Like in the earlier days, we all used to write and write and write and write and write. For so many, 20 years, I did not write anything. But when I went to the ashram, I used to write notes. So again, after slowly, the speed came. Now again, for the last 20 to 30 years, I have not written anything. If I start writing, the handwriting is not as beautiful because practice is gone. Defect comes in. This is the defect. That it will not be, nothing in this, wherever there is doership, it cannot remain perfect. Any action done, even if you have covered all the parameters, it can never remain perfect because there is every possibility that something will go wrong. And therefore here he says, its activity comes to a stop, or if a chariot is deficient in one part, you are doing exercise, you are eating good food, you are eating fresh food, you are eating organic food, still disease comes and catches you. You are absolutely fit. There was one guy here, the CEO of Ozmobile, that company is gone now. In Brighton, he was absolutely fit, young family, going jogging every day. One day went for a jog, fell down, declared dead. No precondition. And here we are living, I am going to do this, I am going to do that, I am going to perform this, I am going to plan my future. What are you going to do with it? Get out of this rigmarole. Get out of this illusory world. Get out of this illusion that I am somebody, that I am the doer. So even it comes to a dead halt. So even if an action is right on the whole, it may become bad being deficient in some quality. Why it may become deficient in some quality? Because anything in this world is never a constant. Anything in this world, whether it is thought, sometimes good, sometimes bad thought, sometimes ugly thought, sometimes compassionate thoughts, sometimes words, sometimes angry words, sometimes emotions are continuously changing, words are changing, health is continuously changing. So you cannot catch the world and say, I'm going to keep it like this for the rest of my life. You cannot. You can't do that about your body, you can't do that about your mind, you can't do that about your waking also. Waking, dream, sleep, they keep coming and going. You can't say, I'm going to be, I'll catch the waker because I enjoy it so much, I'm going to only be in the waking state. You can't do it. You can't do it. This is the deficiency. Deficiency of what? Deficiency of every action. Action by nature cannot be perfect. Some problem will come. Now question is, if action cannot by nature be perfect, then how do I get out of it? How do I get out of being the doer of the action? Because activity becomes action when you take the ownership, isn't it, of the activity. Therefore, Sat is being told, drop the doer, be the constant principle, and watch the activity come and go. Don't take ownership. Watch the thoughts come and go. Watch the speech come and go. Watch the activity and the deeds happen. And if we have not come to that point, at least Om Tat Sat, when the action is taken, we are still in our default. We have not come to the realization that we are the existing constant principle, but we perform the action by chanting Om Tat Sat. And how do we do it? With faith. We do it with faith. Then what happens? Such a action, even if you have correct, true intention, good intentions or not, still, if you have faith in the words of Om Tat Sat, that I don't understand all this, but I'll just, okay, because you are saying, I'll chant Om Tat Sat. That action becomes a prescribed scriptural action if you chant it according to this manner. Then you don't have to know all the do's and don'ts of the scriptures. Then you don't need to study the Dharma Shastra. What is Dharma Shastra for? Only how to do things, isn't it? How to perform puja. What is that? Activity. How to be a good father, how to be a good mother, how to rear up a child, what are the various sanskar, the nitya namittika karma. All this is comes in the Shastra. And this is too much, man. Okay, do Om Tat Sat with every action, with faith. But here, specifically, we are talking about the doer. Continuing in the 391st. ते वहाँ ओंकार तत्कारी सावाइला हा चांगी परी सत्शब्दू कर्मा करी जीर्णोद्धारू ते असतपण फेडी आणि सद्भावाची रूढी निज सत्वाची प्रौढी सत्शब्दू हा दिव्यौषध जैसे रोगिया का सावावो ये भंगलिया सत्शब्दू कर्मा व्यंगलिया तैसा जाण अथवा काही प्रमादे कर्म आपुलिये मर्यादे चुकोनी पडे निषिद्धे वाटे हन चालतयाही मार्गू सांडे पारखियाची अखरे पडे राहाटी माझी न घडे काही काही. He says, where are we? In this situation, it may be bad being deficient in some quality, because nothing in this world is perfect. Name and form can never be perfect. Tell me why. Someone, I said it many times, but let's see. Why name and form cannot be perfect? Hello? Someone?
Because it is finite, Swamiji.
Ah?
It is finite.
Okay. Anyone else? That's correct. It is finite.
It's changing.
It is changing. Therefore, it is not constant. And that which is changing cannot be perfect. And name and form are continuously changing. You may be feeling I am continuously the same person. That is the Atmic. Atma is the same, but you have superimposed that constancy of the Atma, the consciousness, on the body. But the body has been changing from childhood till today. This is the wrong approach. So you have to take charge that this consciousness that I am is the constant one. Body is not the constant one. So here he says, it may become bad being deficient in some quality. In this situation, with the help of the words Om and Tat and Sat, Om and Tat, the Sat syllable restores the defective action. Om was before the action, Tat was during and after the action, and now we are coming to the doer. So if the doer is dropped and it is seen as that it is attributed to the Sat, the constant principle, rather than taking the ownership of that action, that deficiency is, that defect is avoided. That defect is avoided. Now do that. How many actions you are doing during the day? From morning, from the waking up till you go to sleep, you will be performing actions. Thought, word and deed. Offer them to Om. Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat. Not mechanically like a tape recorder. With Shraddha. With Shraddha. And when we attribute the beginning of the action and maintenance of the action or the result of action to the Sat, rather than taking ownership of that action, beginning, maintenance and the conclusion, we don't take the ownership. That is what is told here. They do not take it. And right now we don't know how to, so we just chant it. With Shraddha. It removes the defect by its power of Sattva and brings it to perfection. The more we keep offering the action to the Sat, recognize and not take the ownership of the action, slowly that action, when we are owner of the action at the body level, it is tamasic action. When it is at the speech level, it is rajasic action. When it is ownership of the action at the mental thought level, intention level, it is the maybe a more refined, more subtle. But these are still limbs of the body only. We have to shoot out of this. And that we do by not taking. And what happens as we keep offering it? The activity will move towards the Sattva. Sattva means what? You will remain the witness of the action. Because activity is neither good nor bad. Activity is neither good nor bad. Then who is the Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic? The doer is Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. And when he is offering it with faith to the Sat Vastu, then slowly he starts weaning away from Tamas to Rajas, Rajas to Sattva, and Sattva is the gateway is the threshold from where he can blast out of the uh, cyclical ownership, cyclical doership. Possibility is there. See? And naturally, if we are offering everything at the feet of the divine, how, why, that is a technology, but he is an ignorant fellow. He doesn't want to understand, he can't understand the technology behind it. So he is being told, just chant Om Tat Sat with Shraddha and things will start happening. A child is told, chant Sahana Vatu Sahano Bhunaktu, he keeps chanting. Oh, what is the meaning? No, first chant. First chant. And as he chants, as he grows up, after suddenly he is interested. What is the meaning of Sahana Vatu Sahano Bhunaktu? Just now in Bhagavad, one kid was there, and it took him 3 months, 2.5, 3 months. I've been telling him, I want you to chant the Hanuman Chalisa at the beginning of Bhagavad. He has been practicing, and last week he started. Now, as he keeps chanting, before that I told him, oh, I have been chanting Brahmarpanam Brahmaivi after the Bhagavad for too long, now you chant Brahmarpanam. So he chanted Brahmarpanam Brahmaivi. He did not know how correct pronunciation, learnt, chanted, then Annapurne, Sadapurne, then one or two other mantras, and now he is perfect with it. And slowly, what is the meaning of it? That will get ignited within him. Right now it is only on rote basis. So initially you do it, and why is he doing it? Because parents are doing it, so many other kids are doing it, Swamiji is doing it, all other adults in the Bhagavad group are doing it. So for him it is a norm. It should be done. But why it should be done, he doesn't know that. And what is the meaning of all that, he doesn't know that. But as he grows, slowly, anyway, I've been chanting this for so long, what does it mean? Suddenly it will click. Same way. Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat. Slowly, the purification will happen. When with faith we are offering the actions to the Sat Vastu and not taking the ownership, when we are not taking the ownership, the impetus for further action is removed. If I push the water, calm waters with one hand, then only the waves are created. Consecutive waves are created. One wave leads to another wave, leads to another wave, leads to another wave. You must have all experienced that. But if I am not doing the action, then will the wave be created? The same way, if I am not the doer, over a period of time, activity will become quietened. What does activity become quietened means? We are not saying activity will stop. We are saying the ownership of activity will subside. And what will happen? You will abide in the Sat Vastu. Either you can say that you are the witness of all activity, and if you have understood, or if it has clicked that this, as a result of the purification, where there is no ownership, purification is the norm. And if as a result of this purification, and with faith you are chanting Om Tat Sat, a point will come where the Sat within and the Sat without is one. This recognition will happen. To shift yourself from a husband to a father, you don't have to do sadhana. It happens because you have accepted it so deeply. Once you accept that you are the Sat Vastu, and as you become purified, your acceptance that you are the consciousness will also be deep. It will not be at the surface level. You begin with surface level. And as you go deep in your understanding and surrender and in faith that I don't understand but Om Tat Sat, in and through everything.
Swamiji,
It will be instantaneous. What?
Swamiji, how it differs from the Karma Yoga, Swamiji?
Please go back to second chapter and work it out.
Okay, Swamiji, thanks. Okay, I'll do that. Yeah, thank you.
This is not about Karma Yoga. This is about Shraddha. The chapter is on Shraddha.
Yeah, but still it's about the doership, isn't it?
No, it is not about doership. It is about Om Tat Sat. Don't get the plot wrong. Don't misunderstand the plot of chapter 17, or especially these few verses. The topic is Om Tat Sat. Topic is not action. Your focus is on action. That's why that question. Our topic of discussion is Om Tat Sat. We are talking about Om in the 24th verse, Tat in the 25th verse, and Sat in the 26th verse. There it was doership. Here it is offering of everything, of all action to the Om Tat Sat. And the resultant purity and eventually the resultant abidance in the Satvastu. Satvastu, the existence principle. And what is existence? Atma is existing because I have never experienced my absence. And the substratum of the world is also existence. I don't have the vision to see that, but I can suspect. Because scriptures are saying, I am lost in the names and forms. And as we come closer and closer to the Sat that we are, to that extent, once we realize this Sat, by grace, it's not our doing. We are giving up doing. We are giving up doing. Like divine medicine which is given to a patient or help rendered to a despondent person, this syllable Sat helps in making defective action perfect in all respects. Just as when we go to a doctor, we don't understand how medicine works. We take the medicine, sugar goes down. We take the medicine, blood pressure goes down. We take the Panadol, headache goes away. What is the functioning? What happened? What did it do? We don't understand anything. Same way, for this person who is addicted to action, if he keeps performing the action, initially he is the doer, no? So he performs the action, but now he is, before, during and after, he is chanting Om Tat Sat with faith. That is the important ingredient. He has not given up his doership. Maybe his intentions are not clear. His intentions are not pure. He still wants to do this, wants to do that, but with faith, okay, I'll start chanting Om Tat Sat. I'll offer before, during and after, I'll keep Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat, Om Tat Sat. This is the medicine that is given to this ignorant person. And just like a patient does not know how the medicine works, this one who is so lost in doership and performing actions and performing duties. When he performs in this manner by uttering Om Tat Sat while performing actions with doership. Now he is taking the doership of I am chanting Om Tat Sat. Okay, but do it with faith. The medicine will do its magic. And what is the magic? That the doership will be dropped. The defect in the action is not the action itself. The defect in the action is, on one hand, no action is complete, no action is whole, no action can be perfect. You understand? And that is so only because there is a doer of the action. But if the doer has vanished and recognized that he is the Sat Vastu, then when he is looking out, when he is looking at the world, what does he cognize? Does he cognize the action? Does he cognize the duality? Does he cognize the multiplicity? Or the Sat that I am and the Sat that the world is, his attention weans away from the name and form and is now on the constant principle. This transformation, it's not transformation also, this abidance comes about. Like divine medicine which is given to a patient or help rendered to a despondent person, this syllable Sat helps in making defective action perfect in all respects. When action is done for the divine, then alone it is the righteous action. When action is done for the individual, when the action is performed by the I, it is impure action. So we perform the action as an offering to the divine. This is the beginning stage, and over a period of time action is happening and our attention is on the divine only then. We'll continue from where are we? Otherwise it so happens that due to heedlessness action takes to the wrong path, transgressing the precepts of scriptures, even as the wayfarer sometimes misses his way or the connoisseur becomes confused. In such cases, is there any limit to what may happen? If we keep taking the position of doership, we may go the wrong way, as we have gone over time right now. We'll talk about this in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sit quietly for a minute. Hari Om.